ceremony is held at Fort McClellan. Those stories and more, along with sports, including chats with Alabama head coach Roy Perkins and Auburn head coach Pat Dye, and more on the weather, all coming up on TV 40 News, following another call on Dialing for Dollars.
Once again, it is time for Dialing for Dollars, and we'll be making our call after this message from Coke.
Introducing the great new taste of Coca-Cola, the best tasting Coca-Cola you ever had.
It's a hit, it's a Coke, Coke is it.
It's Coca-Cola with a new taste, a new sensation, a new explosion of wonderfulness in your mouth. Go ahead, try it.
It's just how you feel when you know it's for real. It's a kick, it's a hit, it's a Coke. Coke is it.
Okay, let's draw a number now, and we'll try to give away some money here this afternoon on Dialing for Dollars. We'll take that one out of the middle, and the count is 1 from the bottom. So let's dial that number. Okay, the count and the amount, 1 from the bottom, $80. We need both of those numbers. We're getting a busy signal there. Let's try that once again. Hopefully they will have hung up. Nope, once again, we get a busy signal at the residence of Annette Brimmer on McIntosh Road. We're going to add $5 to our jackpot. Next call to be worth $85, and I hope that one is to your house.
WJSU TV, Anniston, Gadsden.
TV 40 News, Northeast Alabama's local TV news source. With News Director Phil Cox. The latest weather affecting Northeast Alabama with Bill Hagler. And up-to-the-minute sports with Mike Scruggs.
Good afternoon. I'm Linda Cardwell, sitting with Phil Cox. As we told you earlier, most of TV 40's coverage area has been experiencing some violent weather. Bill Hagler is here with an update on what's going on.
Well, all of the Channel 40 viewing area remains under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock tonight. I remind you, a watch means conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather and not necessarily that it will. It does mean we should stay alert to weather conditions and know what to expect. Weather radar has been showing strong thunderstorms over north-central Alabama in the last few minutes, and that system now is moving to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. There is a second system, more or less developing right now, that has some strong thunderstorms. It's located in Mississippi, west of Tuscaloosa, and should be moving into that city in the next couple of hours. We're going to keep a close watch on that for you. Meanwhile, large hail, hard rain, and high winds have been reported in a number of areas in our viewing area this afternoon, and we'll be reporting on that. We'll have more on the weather later. Linda?
Thanks, Bill. Etowah County was especially hard hit this afternoon by two separate storms. The first one came around 1 p.m. The temperature plunged almost immediately from 94 degrees to 65 degrees, with hail ranging from marble size to baseball size. That reported on Lookout Mountain and in the Gadsden area. The second storm came shortly before 3 and dumped smaller-sized hail in the Gadsden area. During the first storm, the ground was completely covered with hail in some areas. High winds and heavy rains were also reported in the Gadsden, Etowah County area. There's a new development in the Guest murder case in Etowah County. We'll have details when TV 40 News continues.
TV 40 News, brought to you by Sonny King, Ford, strong, silent, and superbly engineered, where quality is job one. Have you driven a Ford lately?
A grand jury has indicted 17 inmates on charges stemming from the April 15th prison riot at the St. Clair Correctional Facility near Odenville. Charles Graddick, whose office is assisting and prosecuting the cases, said the felony charges against the inmates range from first-degree kidnapping to second-degree assault. Graddick said most of the indicted inmates have been transferred to other state lockups and will not be identified until they are served with the indictments. He said an investigation into the rape of a female hostage during the 10-hour inmate takeover is continuing and will be addressed by a future grand jury panel. Rioting inmates took 22 hostages during the siege, which left 7 prison employees and 5 inmates injured. A new capital murder indictment has been returned against Tommy Jerry Fortenberry. He's the 21-year-old Alabama city man charged with the August 25th slaying of 4 persons at the gas service station north of Attala. The indictment is the same as one returned last month, charging him with murder during first-degree robbery and the murder of 2 or more persons. Both are capital offenses. Assistant Attorney General Pat Robinson, who presented the case to the grand jury, declined to say why new indictments were sought in connection with the case. Fortenberry had been scheduled for trial June 17th, but that will be postponed. He will be arraigned again, and a new trial date will be set. Fortenberry had pleaded not guilty to the charges. A former Talladega businessman has been served a 2-count warrant in his jail cell at Talladega County Prison on charges of producing obscene matter of a child under 17 years of age and possession of that obscene matter. Mayor Larry Barton of Talladega said 41-year-old Donald Graves Carlton is charged with photographing actual sex acts with an 8-year-old boy. Barton said the child is the second one identified in obscene matter taken from Carlton. Carlton was already in the county jail for 2 counts of sodomy and producing obscene materials. He is being held under $1 million bond for those counts, and the current charges carry another $500,000 bond. In an extended workshop session last night, the Anniston City Council addressed several issues that have surfaced during past meetings. Some were resolved and some were not. Mayor Bill Robinson, irritated by problems posed by public parking, said he was tempted to bring back the parking authority that was recently replaced by a parking advisory board. The mayor said he was not willing to discuss parking matters every time the council meets. No member of the advisory board was present at the meeting, although a disgruntled would-be parker aired his problems with the current situation. In other news, an auditor for the city will be selected from applicants from all over North Alabama, not just Anniston. The board decided to open the field wider on the condition that the low bid need not be taken. Legally, the city only has to accept the low bid for materials and not services. An Anniston couple were arrested by members of the Anniston Police Special Duty Unit and the District Attorney's Office following a raid on their home on Tillman Avenue. According to police reports, 29-year-old Billy Ray Sears was charged with felony possession of marijuana and possession of amphetamines. 22-year-old Jennifer Sears was charged with possession of cocaine. Both were taken to city jail, where they were released on $2,500 bond each. Troops at Fort McClellan began marching to the sound of a different drummer, so to speak. That story when we return.
9 years ago, Sonny King brought the Honda cars to Calhoun County. And over the past 9 years, more people have bought Hondas in Calhoun County than any other import. You'll find more money-saving reasons to trade during Sonny King Honda's anniversary sale. He's earned a record allocation. That means you've earned the biggest savings possible. Use the special anniversary discount coupon in the Anniston Star. It's worth $1,000 on any Honda in stock. Service and savings #1 in the USA. That's Sonny King Honda.
A new book on the city of Gadsden and Etowah County has been completed. The book is being distributed by the Gadsden-Etowah Chamber of Commerce. It tells the complete story of Gadsden and Etowah County and the advantages the area offers. DJ Petrocelli, Executive Vice President of the Chamber, says the 24-page publication is an excellent tool for attracting new residents to the area. All Chamber members have received the book, and it's also being sent to organizations and groups seeking information on Gadsden and Etowah County. Several military and civilian officials turned out this morning at Fort McClellan for a change of command ceremony. We get details in this report from TV 40's Paulette Miller-Ware.
Under the authority of Army Regulation 600-20, paragraph 31, the undersigned assumes command of the United States Army Military Police School and deputy command of the United States Army Chemical and Military Police Centers at Fort McClellan, Alabama.
The short but formal ceremony made newly promoted Brigadier General David Stem, Deputy Post Commander and Commandant of the U.S. Army Military Police School.
Soldiers, you look superb. Thank you for a fine ceremony. On behalf of everyone here at Fort McClellan, the Military Police School I'd like to extend our best wishes to General Mrs. Archer and her new assignment. I have worked with General Archer during the past 18 months and consider it an honor.
Since January of 1984, Stem has been assigned Assistant Commandant of the Military Police School. General Stem succeeds General Caleb Archer, who will become commander of the Military Entrance Processing Command, headquartered at Great Lakes Base in North Chicago, Illinois.
It's been a distinct privilege and honor for me to serve with you at Fort McClellan, Alabama. I believe Fort McClellan is the best post in the United States Army and the most beautiful. At Fort McClellan, we are graduating some 17,000 new soldiers each year. By every measure, they are the best soldiers that I've ever served with.
Reporting from Fort McClellan, Paulette Miller-Ware, TV 40 News.
The groundbreaking for Birmingham's planned $64.5 million horse racing track has been set for noon next Wednesday at the track site. The date is the anniversary of the vote in Jefferson County, in which voters overwhelmingly approved horse racing and gambling for Birmingham. The executive director says the 730-acre track site is scheduled to be cleared and graded during the next few months, and a 20,000-seat grandstand is expected to be started in September. For a long time to come, the residents of Birmingham will no doubt remember June 6, 1985. That's the day President Ronald Reagan visited their city. The president was there yesterday for a fundraiser in honor of Senator Jeremiah Denton and to drum up support for his new tax plan. Reporter Paulette Miller-Ware was in Birmingham, and she filed this report on presidential preparations.
Much time, effort, and money goes into a presidential visit, whether it's for a few days or just over an hour, as President Reagan's visit was yesterday in Birmingham. Security is always the #1 consideration when preparing for the country's top political figure. According to officials, evidence technicians for presidential protection duty were even called in.
No, the president was an attempted assassination occurred in 1981, so certainly they do what they think is necessary to secure him.
It's not every day that a sit-down luncheon for some 3,600 persons is prepared, especially when the lunch costs $250 a plate. Some 4 months of preparation went into the gala event. Jefferson County school bands and choirs tuned their instruments and voices for the first and perhaps only time they will get to perform for a United States president. In short, everyone was just sort of, in the words of the song, putting on the Ritz.
Our sponsor, Faye Anderson, talked to Jack Wright, and they just arranged for us to be able to come here.
How do you feel about hosting this affair for the president?
We're so honored. We're just so honored.
In Birmingham, Paulette Miller-Ware, TV 40 News.
School officials in Alamo, Georgia say a tornado ripped through a high school complex last night. It ripped the roofs off 2 buildings and damaged several others, but no one was injured. There's more today about the wave of killer tornadoes that swept through 3 states and part of Canada a week ago. A Pennsylvania meteorologist said the twisters probably packed winds of up to 300 miles an hour. He says about 1,000 twisters hit the nation each year, but less than a dozen of them are that strong. And speaking of weather, the weather is the newsmaker of the day. Bill will fill us in on what's happening in just a moment.
Hey, we've got a new location for the finest cars in the nation. This is 1900 South Quintard, the new home for Sonny King Chrysler Plymouth. Come drive the new Chrysler 5th Avenue. It's priced thousands less than Cadillac or Lincoln. It's the finest Chrysler ever made. It's loaded with every luxury feature. And bring in the Chrysler coupon from the Anderson Star for your bonus savings discount during a get acquainted sale at the new location, Sonny King Chrysler Plymouth, down at from 1900 South Quintard.
Dinner ready?
What'll I make?
Not plain hamburger again.
Somebody order a pizza bake?
A pizza bake?
It's a new hamburger helper flavor you make a new way, in the oven.
Just top the easy bake crust with hamburger and our pizza sauce and pop in the oven.
Ready for a pizza bake?
Sure tastes great.
It was so easy to make.
Can I have another piece of pizza bake?
Sure.
Hamburger helper helped her hamburger help her make a great meal.
Good afternoon, everyone. As a front passes through Alabama, it's causing numerous thunderstorms. Despite the fact that system is weakening and will receive very little beneficial rain from it. But some storm systems have developed, and hard rain and hail have been reported in a number of spots. And all of the Channel 40 viewing area remains under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock. The storms have been somewhat scattered with several systems at work, the most severe in northwest Alabama now. But Gadsden, Glencoe, Jacksonville, and the northwestern part of Calhoun County all reported hail this afternoon, some as large as baseballs. Remember that thunderstorms can be just as dangerous as tornadoes, so be sure to stay in touch with weather sources and know what the weather is doing. We'll keep you informed. You can see the system that's causing the problem, this low pressure system here, as the trading cold front drops down and then moves across the state of Alabama. That is pushing some thunderstorm activity, and a good bit of it has been right up here in the northwestern part of the state. The system here is moving up. That's not causing us problems, but it is causing problems in the Carolinas and in parts of Georgia. Weather we're most concerned with right now associated with this system, which has been kind of slow to move in. Let's take a look now at some of the temperatures around the nation. Some of them are just about like ours today, but a few of them very cool, like Saranac Lake in New York, 36 degrees. We were in the 70s this morning with the 60s just up above us. 90s this afternoon with some 100-degree readings, especially back in the southwest, and we had some fairly high readings in our area down in the southwestern part of Alabama. Now, you can see the cloud cover, the first system we mentioned here on the coastlines of the Carolinas. You can see how thick that is. And then in the afternoon look, this has thickened up somewhat, and again, this is the problem area here with that low pressure system, which of course is moving on to the east and will be out of the area, of course, probably tonight. Now, mild weather is following this. That means the temperature is probably going to drop about 5 degrees, so we're not going into any real cool spells. But this high pressure system comes back into view. Once this system gets out of the way, then we're expecting more of the same type of weather, just slightly cooler. More on the weather in just a moment.
Walter Harris was a master at solving complex problems. Then, one day, he bought a life insurance policy. At Independent Life, we make our policies simple and train our agents to help you understand them. Too bad Walter Harris didn't know about Independent Life.
Well, look at these temperatures. You can see it's not quite as hot as it was yesterday, but some 95-degree readings like here at Dothan, and 99 then at Montgomery. 94 at Tuscaloosa, where some thunderstorm activity is developing to the west of that area. And incidentally, that will be moving up toward our area. We're keeping an eye on that for you. And then above us, there's some thunderstorm activity in the northwestern portion, and also some moving from the Cullman, Blount County area through Winston and Walker counties. Those temperatures, as I said, are a few degrees cooler today, but not a great deal of difference. Let's look at conditions along with the forecast. We're expecting we had a high today of 99. The present temperature reading is 97. Humidity at 43%. The barometer reached 29.86 and falling. Winds out of the west 17 miles an hour, occasionally gusting to 23. A tornado watch for all of our viewing area until 8 o'clock tonight. Otherwise, scattered thunderstorms, and you should keep in touch with weather sources concerning that activity with a low tomorrow morning of 70 degrees. Partly cloudy skies for tomorrow, a high of about 90 degrees with a low tomorrow evening of 68, a little bit cooler than it has been the past few days. And on Sunday, we expect mostly sunny skies, a high of 93 degrees. We'll keep you informed. Stay tuned on the weather. Mike Scruggs next with sports. Sterling Jewelers, where skilled hands provide complete service and repair right on the premises. Hands skilled by training and experience, performing work for customers from all over the country. Customers who send their jewelry for repair, knowing they can depend on the skilled hands at Sterling's. Sterling's technicians will serve you expertly and reasonably. Sterling Jewelers, 1029 Noble Street, Anniston.
9:25 a.m. Stakeout, B&S Sporting Goods. We had a tip B&S was running for the South's finest T-shirt printing operation. Time to move in. Out of the way, sister. We found all the evidence we needed. Great designs, great prints. All at prices so low, it's a crime. We need 5 dozen T-shirts printed for the detectives' bake sale pronto. Mission accomplished. For your next maneuver, call B&S Sporting Goods. Over and out.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. In tennis, the men's field for the French Open title is now set, and once again, there will be no Americans among the final 2. Defending champ Ivan Lendl displayed his talents despite drizzly and wet conditions today. Lendl disposed of Jimmy Connors in straight sets today, 6-2, 6-3, 6-1. For Jimmy C, it was once again a lesson in futility as he failed once again to make the finals in the French Open. Meanwhile, McEnroe had all kinds of troubles today with Mats Wilander. The 4th seed in the tournament took no prisoners in his 6-1, 7-5, 7-5 win over Johnny Mack. Wilander charged the nets at all times, completely baffling McEnroe. After the match, McEnroe said he would like to see the tournament moved indoors to counter what he termed adverse weather conditions. Well, speaking of the French Open, the women will take to center court tomorrow for the finals in their division. Once again, it will be number 1 against number 2 when top-seeded and defending champ Martina Navratilova squares off against second-ranked Chris Evert-Lloyd. Turning to the NBA, Game 5 in the league's championship series will take place tonight, once again from the Forum in Inglewood, California. Now, the Celtics came back to clip the Lakers Wednesday night, 107-105, and tied that best-of-7 series at 2 games apiece. Once again, you can catch all the action right here on CBS and TV 40 live tonight at 8 p.m. Back with more sports, including college football, right after this.
Welcome to Quintard Mall. Please pardon our mess, but come in and see what's happening. New stores, old friends, values every day. And believe it or not, there's plenty of parking.
Yes, now's the time to take the time to see. Come see it all. See Quintard Mall.
Arby's brings magic to baked potatoes. Announcing Arby's new super stuffed potatoes with better ingredients like fresh broccoli and cheddar, fresh sauteed mushrooms and Swiss, butter, sour cream, chives, cheese, and real bacon.
Welcome to Arby's.
New super stuffed potatoes. They're simply better.
You're right where you belong.
Well, turning to college football, it's not often you see Alabama head coach Ray Perkins and Auburn head man Pat Dye together, except for their regular season finale at Legion Field. But nonetheless, the two were together today at Alabama City Bank in Gadsden. The two men were on hand to sign autographs today as part of Career Day. The proceeds from the event were donated to the John Croyle Big Oak Boys Ranch. Although the two were there to help raise money, they still found time to talk about their favorite subject.
Well, I've got high expectations, just like all of our people do around the state and at the university and our squad and all. It's going to depend on a lot of things falling into place for us, injuries and so forth, how well our kids come back from the summer, and just a number of things. But we're excited about it. We're excited about also starting the season on September the 2nd against Georgia. It's a great opportunity for us to play a fine program, a fine team like the University of Georgia, and be on national TV at the same time, opening up our season. And I think it might help us a little bit through the course of the season having 3 open dates, because we're a little thin at certain positions from a depth standpoint.
I was pleased with what we got
accomplished offensively and changing from the wishbone to the I formation. I like what we're doing, and I think we got a chance. We've got to, we've got to develop some defensive players, or some defensive players have got to come through for us, because we're not as good right there as we got to be to win the big games next year.
Well, turning to the USFL, the New Jersey Generals have sent out a call for help at the quarterback spot.